This meeting is being recorded.
All right, it is recording. Usually it yells at us.
Right,
All
yell
right,
at me.
well, we are here with a 47th edition, and I'm in the mood for wrestling. Thanks to Scott Franklin for sending me this. An actual authentic mask from Mexico. So, all right. So this is the 47th IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. Michael Cook is the expert. I am Matt Riley. Oh, shit. All right. That's my phone. So let's get this underway. So this is going to be for the September cycle. Oh my background noise. And I see you've condensed everything nicely here. Do you want to preface what you got here?
Yep. So cleaned up, got a few things marked off. Start with where we're at. So, at the very beginning, we have the 432 options. First step, we took off gold from last cycle and 2 cycles ago. So that marked off the 27s and 2827. No big deal, just a few there.
Right.
So that got us down to 352. We marked off iron and steel of this cycle, which 26s and 2726. And what's really interesting, iron was last cycle's steel, and steel was last cycle's iron. So they just crisscross and really, yeah. That marks us down to 272. And then I went ahead, and our 2 cycles ago 25s were 59 and 1. We took that one off here, put us at 256. So a lot more than the past few, where we were down below 100 pretty easily, but still not bad. So step 1 of what we typically look at was the 2 cycles ago 25s. Let's go down to the chart here and look. So you see, it was actually a no last time. Hadn't had one of those in a while. So what we need to decide, do we think it'll go on a little stretch, or is it just going to bounce back after one?
Well,
that's a 50-50.
I'm leaning towards yes. I feel like
it's pretty safe.
They get us with all the non moves is where they really sting us.
Yep.
We build it up in our heads like, oh, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you see the 2 cycles ago went to a 27 and a 29. Not bad, because that's in a lot of our options. So out of the, I think it was 16. Yeah, there was 16 left for us. So 4, 8, 12, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of 16 have it in them. So pretty good chance. That one of them will happen. While we're up here real quick, let's talk about 2828.
Oh no. I saw rumblings in the NWL locker room.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
28. That's why I want to talk about it. I don't think so. Let's see.
Talk them off the ledge.
Yeah, I think I tried to in the chat the other day. So let me pull that up because it had some information I just want to repeat.
Don't.
That was the NWL.
Why? Because I said so.
A lot of chat in here, so give me a second. We'll get it.
Yeah, that goes through. I always something like, oh, it's no more active. Don't worry, it will be. Right around the drop, it'll be busy. How'd your fantasy draft go?
I was pretty happy. Did 3, got most of what I wanted. So, yep, here we go. All right. So right here, let me read this off. Basically, I looked past 4 years, and looked at how many times drops happen. So in 2019, 3 total. There was 1 28-28, 2 27s, 0 26s. 2020, there was 3 total. No 28s, a 27-27, and 2 26s. Okay. Last year, there was only 2 total. No 28s again, and a 27 and 126. And then this year, we already have 3. So 3 has been our max every other year. And we've already got our 3. So
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like if you go into it, you're probably going to be disappointed more than, yes, it is technically the most due, I believe. Yep. See, but again, it's something that's happened twice in the past 4 years. Why would you assume it's going to happen again this year?
and again, what is our go-to mantra? Don't go with the I'll be the only one that figures it out. Go with the safe stuff, and then
You'll be the one
points.
wrong most of the time.
Take the points.
Because didn't you start saying that around like right here, and then it kept going right here?
Yeah.
You recall this? So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you're going to be waiting a while to be right on that. And
Yeah.
if it does go, oh well, you know. But I feel like there's a greater likelihood that you're just going to be behind everybody else by trying to be ahead. So I'd mark that off. I'm just not tempted by them anymore. Even when they hit, like I said, if it happens 3 times a year, that's 3 out of 17. So that's less than 20% of the year that you're going to be right if you take them every cycle.
And we're on the back end of the year, so
yeah. So I would walk past it. Don't go and try to use it unless you just absolutely love it. But I don't see talking myself into it. But that gets us down to these 4. Like I said, we've got 5 combinations with a 2 cycle ago 25. Really, if you talk yourself into 59, it looks like is the heavy part of it.
Heavy hitter.
So yeah, you see the 1 being a 27, most of our 27s got eliminated already.
Right.
So you're kind of talking yourself into a 29 dropping if you feel that that's going to hold true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I started looking at a few other things. I put this on here. So this is what last cycle was. We had 2 blanks, a diamond, and a bronze. And if you look down here, it's more than twice a likelihood of any other Fed occurring is one of the ones that didn't hit last time.
Okay.
Then we had jade, iron, bronze hit last time. I tried to see if I could actually be smarter than them and look at if gold was the previous cycle's bronze, could that happen again the next cycle?
Mm-hmm.
And I did find one instance in the past 3 years, but again, it's happened. There's only been 6 of them in the past like 3 to 4 years. So odds of it being a second, pretty still possible, but it's a smaller percentage than one of the others. So that could help us maybe cut this one out. That's it. I'll probably go away from it just on that little kind of side assumption. It's not like the most accurate because it's only, again, there's only 6 instances of bronze hitting, and one of those was back to back. The other 4, were spaced out pretty wide. But I don't know. Small number. I don't think it'll happen again. So we could toss that aside if we want. And that gets us down to 11, right? Yep.
Right.
Yep. So then, like I said, it's basically talking yourself into a 29. or the 28-26. All three of these look like kind of good options. So you basically have to decide if you like a 25 from 2 cycles ago or the 28-26. There's not a lot to go off at this point, though. But like I said, I kind of like these two for this reason, because, yep, it just feels more likely that one will happen. In general, 29-28, it almost feels like a broken hold right now, because outside of typically you'll see like these 27s or 26s, they'll go a few cycles. You never really see these other combinations go more than like 2 cycles in a row without hitting. And 29-28 is currently on 3. I think I found one other instance, and I had to go back several years to find it. Is this one it? Yep, here it was. This was in so 22, 21, 20, 2019, 29-26 did it. I think that was the only one I found. So it's going to happen this cycle. I think I mentioned this on one a few cycles ago, that it's almost concerning if it doesn't go in gold, because then half of diamond or half of bronze will have 29-28s. Like it's so due that it's going to happen, and it's just going to start getting loaded up.
Too due.
Yeah.
Now, do you think somewhere Johnny B is cackling, going, yes, yes, look at the files, look at the history?
Yeah, I feel like, when they get to that point where they're like, well, this has to happen, and then it doesn't, they have to smile at that a little bit, because that's when you kind of break people. It's
right.
You see, the last time that instance, it was diamond that did it. So yeah, gold or diamond is probably going to be 29-28, and I think I'm willing to gamble in gold. So that's probably where I'm going to lean. But yeah, all three of these have some merit, but I think it's one of the 28s. Now, trying to decide between 28-26s, I don't know what you would do there. But yeah, I think I'm going to work off of 29-28, just because it's really due. It fits right here. It has a 25 from 2 ago. So these two are probably what I'm going to work off of.
So it's definitely when I look at 28-26 and go, oh, there's no 25 there from 2 cycles ago.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the few times that the 25s don't do that in gold, you see it can have a second in a row, so there's a chance. But I will say, as soon as it goes to a yes, we just keep taking it no matter what. But yeah, this cycle, you could talk yourself out of it if you think that, let's see what we've got. 3 instances here, and it was 2 out of 3, so it's not a very big sample size. But yeah, if you believe that that holds no merit this cycle, I'd probably tell you to lean towards the 28-26. But
yeah,
I'm leaning up towards the top.
All right. So when you're looking at, like, let's say, 33-45. This is something people ask about, like, well, how do you determine which, like, if you have choices, what do you do to determine, like, what you think is the least likely or the more likely to drop hold? Like, which of the two, like, what trends in those actual individual holds do you look for?
Yeah, that's the part where I probably should do more work. I assume there is some value, like, we're looking at the backs as the 1s and 2s, the A and Bs,
right?
Weak, strong, however you want to say it. The few times I've looked at these types of holds, dropping, I feel like it's all over the place to where it doesn't actually hold any value. So I tend to be the person that tries to just read it going back. Like 33, you see it's had 4 really strong cycles. I had a 30 to a 28. And if we kind of just read back through it, it had 4 strong cycles. and it went from a 30 down a 25. This is a stretch. Oh, okay. Yeah, just small things like that. Is it possible? Yes, it's actually happened several times. So I feel like that one is a good drop target. Let's see, what was the other one that we said? 45?
45, I think it was, yeah.
So it was just 2 cycles here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of scan back through. You see it had this one little patch where it had drops.
Right.
But overall, it's not one that drops that frequent. In general, 45 is just kind of a nicer hold in most
Right.
feds. So looking at that, I'm kind of just looking through. We have a couple of times where it's done that, but for the most part, it does well when it comes off of 28s. Or at least not 25. There's only that one instance. Where was that? Here?
Right.
Yeah. So out of those two, just doing a quick, look through, I think 33 has a better chance versus 45. You could probably make a few extra charts and get something that's a little more definitive. But yeah, when I get down to this, I just kind of do a look and what I feel. That's all.
And we saw again in the bottom 5 that 43-1 and 44-1 both stayed consistent.
Yep. This hurt me really bad last cycle. I really didn't think we'd get a third straight 41, but we did. But I did mention towards the end that it's still just safe to probably take 41s no matter what, because the worst case you get a 42. Whereas I took the 42 and I got a 41, and then got a lot of 494s that did not do well.
Yeah.
You'd think a 494 is okay, but my 2 regional champs were both 494s, and they went something like 12 and 40 for the cycle. Like, it's rough. So yeah, I really could use that extra point if I went the other way.
That's the thing. Like, there was a lot of tournaments going on right now. So the Bound for Glory had a whole heap load of guys that were like right on that cusp because of the scoring. So it's one of those things that makes a big difference in an event. And I had actually one of the guys, the scoring wasn't done right, so he did the new scores. So he ended up making the next round as opposed to not making the next round. So every point counts.
Yep.
So
I would say in regards to your 45s, there's 2 thoughts. I'm just probably going to go with the strong in the 44 spot, just because it tends to kind of, like, we had this really nice stretch and we had a few others. I don't see them bouncing back and forth too much. They did a little bit here, but they seem to be more consistent with it. The only thing that would hesitate on that, they actually did it here this right way, but anytime you see 90 go to 43, it has a greater chance of happening in the next Fed as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like they're giving you a heads up, but that's a minor point flow thing. You're taking both.
Generous IWA.
Yeah, I tend to just keep it this way, but that's not going to hurt anybody. We're taking both holds. It's just kind of a little point flow thing to look at.
Yeah.
And I'll just say 41.2 probably can't go again, but you don't know when they get on these little stretches, as we're seeing this. So I would not rule it out, but it'd be interesting to see it happen again. I just don't think it will. If we look at all Feds, let's see if we can even find an example of that happening. Nope. See, there's a couple, like there was 3 in a row. It's likely not going to happen again. it's probably one of those. If it happens, they got me, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It feels like it's against what happens most of the time, which
Well, it
like
goes back to the IWA's trap, or the way
Yep.
they get you is the non-shakeup.
Mhm. Yep. So
We had mentioned
go
earlier.
for
We
it
had
or
mentioned, what's that?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. Well, I got something else to talk about, so I just want to finish up with
Okay.
this.
Yeah. So, like I said, probably don't go there. 41s are still, like I said, they're your best bet to be safe on that floor. So, 41.1, or if you're brave, go with the 42s. But it's probably just kind of a what you want to do there.
Right.
I don't know if I can talk myself into the 42s again. So I'll probably just go 41.1,
Right.
which would be, let's see, what was that this cycle? 85. And then here, I would say, you're taking at least one of these two, right? Like it's never been one since we started tracking. So within the past 22 cycles, at least one of the strongholds has hit. So that helps you if you assume that it's got to have one of the two.
Right.
That cuts out 4 of the possible 16 combinations. So that gets us down to 12. We didn't like this one, so that gets us another 3 knocked off if we don't take 41.2. And that puts us down to 9 bags. I'm kind of just tempted to keep going with the strong on both. Worst case, we miss one of the two, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah. Till it
it's-
misses, just go for it.
I can say as an example, like, I had a lot of guys in the tournaments and other things going on, and the results were less than stellar because I leaned so heavily on 42s that I had scores that were like 493, 494, 495, and 495 without titles. So it's a bummer.
Yeah, that's what I would do. So
So
the back, it's a little tougher to mark anything out, but like I said, you say that we had this stretch right here, but we also had these weird 42 jump cycles that kind of messed up, the 42s having to hit. But in general, it's just not going to be that many cycles in a row without one. See, Iron just did a 4 in a row here, but then it bounced back. So you might see one more. That's why I'm going to just try to at least say the 41.1. But yeah.
Damn you, Johnny B.
Yeah, so a little bit of an option there. And we didn't mark it down as much as we have in the past few cycles, but I think that gets it down to just make this pick here, make which one of these 3 you like, and then cut out a few, and you're down to just that handful. So
yeah,
not much, but I think it'll be a pretty good cycle again.
I hope so. I could use it. Yeah. We talked earlier about some of the IWA gameplay stuff. So the question was, or the thing that goes on is like, when you're the league champion and you want to challenge wrestlers. Now, I had always been under the impression that if I have the champion, league champion, and I want to challenge regional champions, I can only face them if I'm no longer champion. Like if I lose the belt throughout the process of, whatever. And I was always under the impression, I want to say they told me to do this, like to write non-title match next to each person I was challenging that had a regional belt. And the idea being that if I'm the champion, well, I'm going to face them anyways. But if I lose the belt, I wouldn't be facing them. So I could then challenge for those championships. And because I put non-title, it was a way of kind of saying like, hey, this is the champion challenging a regional champion with the hopes of winning it. So then you said you saw, or what was it, how was it you came across this?
So if you recall, John said that some of his matches didn't get played in the BWL last cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he sent Kim an email, she mentioned that he would have won, it was one of the regionals, and he was the league champion. So he was ranked number 1 though, and hadn't won it. And so he assumed the match didn't get played, but he found out the next week that it was because he was the champion and he signed against a regional champion that the match wasn't placed on there. So therefore he didn't win.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we need to clarify with them
And,
if
and
you're
I,
able to sign the match somehow, or if you just need to sign against some of the bottom 20 and hope you get on there somehow, or
right. Well,
just worst case you're ranked number 1.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're going to be at worst, you're going to be ranked
Right,
number 1.
yeah.
So you're going to get another title shot, which is good. I can tell you from experience, I've had times where I've had a match where like Leotari was the champion and had a defense where he fought someone and won. And the parentheses at the end, little bracket of that match was non-title.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, that happened. But I'm also curious, I've seen a few times now, where I've seen double matches. And I've always thought that was under the impression that didn't happen. And what I mean by double match is that like, author of Agnew Page Turner versus blank. And, he was a champion, whatever. That match I played twice. And I always thought that didn't happen. So
I think the way it could happen though is like if I sign against you and you sign against me, it only happens once.
mm-hmm.
But if I sign against you and then we meet somewhere along the main event,
Okay,
then it can happen twice. I think that's how that works. But yeah,
well,
I guess I never really paid attention until this. Like, when I am a league champion, I only signed against a scrub. I never signed against regionals because, like you said, worst case, I still have a league shot, and that's all I really care about.
And also, I would say, instead of going against the bottom 20, I'd go against someone like just above them, like an inactive. They're going to lose anyways. And the reason being, I'm often doing like top or bottom 30, bottom 20 with the IWAR bonus package. And getting those 30 wins anyways. So I'm kind of like adding another win from somebody.
Oh yeah. If you're taking that, definitely make sure it's a match that'll count for you.
Right, and this brings up a good point. Like this cycle, the IWL earned 10 free extra matches because the Texas Jesse Tombstone came and won the IWA championship. So similarly, the BWL, Better Than You won the IWA Women's Championship, and then Riley Reynolds did it. So that earned us 10 extra free matches. Now it makes a bigger deal in the BWL where we only have 6 matches a cycle. So it's a big deal. So I brought up the question in one of our chats about what's the best way to maximize the money you want to earn? So is it to just beat scrubs, or is it better to like sign some tag and 6-man matches and win or lose, get more money? That was my kind of ponderance.
I think so. I think it depends. Like if you're a regional champion and you're just signing against people in the rankings, then it would be the same amount of money no matter who you beat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're Darren's person, that's always going to be the lowest ranked,
right?
Because the 7 and 5,000 or whatever.
Right.
It's in his best interest to face the highest ranked people possible. Like in the BRL, when he's ranked 120 and he beats a regional champion, he's getting like $12,000 per win off of that, because it's $100 each up, and it's a huge league. So
Darren, rigging the system.
If I had a terrible record, I would literally take all 10 regionals, and you could potentially get over $100,000 a cycle from it.
That's a good point.
Easiest, but yeah, if you're a regional champion, you might as well take the easy wins and get the guaranteed 1,000 versus just a more competitive ranked person and only having a chance of getting 1,000.
Yeah, I always think that, you know, I know like with like Adam Cash in the BRL or Atari in the IWL, having them ranked high enough to always qualify for a TV or a league shot makes it that much more, you know, important. I know like you just finished the UWL tour and Wrestling Demon Drugs. How many wins did he get?
He had the most in it. I think it was 550, something like that.
So,
So he's right at 4,000 now.
okay. So for those players that are not familiar with the UWL, it's Unknown Wrestler League. And it's a league where you send in a wrestler that is masked and has a number assigned to them, and only you know it. And each cycle, if you get wins, stars, earnings, those go towards one of your wrestlers you designate as like, that's like my wrestler. And then when I think it's when you finish, right, that it actually gets transferred over.
Yeah, whenever he gets kicked out or whatever, or if he's there till the end, then it'd be the next cycle.
Right. So I think it's Iron, right? The next one.
Yep, it will be.
Yeah. So Iron. Oh,
okay.
But
it's actually more than he got
what?
622 wins from it, $750,000 and 6 stars. So yeah, for somebody that was already in the top 10 of the BRL, it's a nice bonus.
Yeah. So
he actually doesn't move up a single spot though.
Really?
Because those records are that big towards the top.
All right. Well,
but he's closer at least.
Still, if you're looking to like, you know, improve your records, it's the way to do it.
Definitely.
It's always important to like get those rankings. And I know like Darren's kind of logic as well. I'm earning more money. It's just tougher to earn title shots at like TV and league.
Yeah.
But, I guess we gotta wrap this one up. Are you gonna do the tubecast as well, or just call it a night?
I think we can call it a night.
That's fine. Those of you who don't know, we did a tubecast last night, but it got like past 2 a.m. It was like a while, and Aaron and Jeff couldn't make it, so I was going to do the NWL, and then I just like literally slipped my mind. I'm like, oh my god, did we do it? So we're gonna go bang it out now. So thank you for joining us for the 47th show, the IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. Remember, this is also the cycle for the IWA Specialty Championships. Yep. So it's a good way to, you know, get your name in the print, so to speak, and grab.
And this one's different than the state champions because first, second, and third place gets money. So
yeah,
definitely sign up for a lot more, and you could easily get a few 100,000.
So. All right. Well, hopefully we'll figure this out. I'm gonna do my strats this weekend myself too. So kind of think about what to do next. But good luck, everybody. We'll see you I guess on Tuesday night for the tubecast recap of the results, and we'll do another one of these in 3 weeks. So good luck. Thanks, Mike.
See you.